The number one quarterback in the 2024 cycle out of Phoenix, Arizona, Dylan Raiola, was seen at a Nebraska basketball game this past weekend. Whole crowd went crazy, right? Just as you would hope and expect if you're a Nebraska faithful, the whole crowd started chanting, "Dylan, Dylan." And that's the kind of scene you want when a top recruit like that shows up on campus unexpectedly, is what we're hearing at least. It wasn't this big, "Hey, I'm coming, I'll be there." It was very, very hush-hush and, according to Husker Online, quote, "out of nowhere." So what does this mean? It does not mean that Nebraska is signed, sealed, delivered, going to land Dylan Raiola. It does not mean that, but it does mean they're in the mix. The RPM machine over at on3.com right now has UGA as the leader by a slim margin at 32%, Nebraska right behind them at 28%, and then USC at 24%. Those are his top three. When all the dust settles, it sounds like he will have taken 6 unofficial visits to Nebraska and to Georgia. Now, unofficial being the key word there. On his own dime, he is electing to go check out these schools, different than an official visit where the school pays for it, they fly you out, they get you situated. He is choosing to go and visit these schools on his own accord. Now, he's still going to visit Georgia, like I said, to get that 6th official visit, but from a broad strokes perspective. It's how we got to paint right now with a broad brush. From a broad strokes perspective, what does this kind of visit mean for Dylan Raiola showing up when he did? At the very least, it's good news. It's good news. It shows that Nebraska is very firmly in the mix. And the pitch for Nebraska, the case to be made for them, is not difficult. His uncle, offensive line coach. His dad went there. This is a place that would be familiar, a place that would be comfortable, a place that you would imagine he would jump in right away and have an opportunity to play as soon as he gets on campus. That's the feel that you have, at least, around a one Dylan Raiola. At least have an opportunity to compete. So there's a lot of sense to be made. Again, it's not by any stretch of the imagination done. I got more thoughts on this and more intel, more or less. But good news, which I don't think is novel analysis. But if you have not yet subscribed, we've had a ton of y'all from the Nebraska faithful join us here in the last few months. Thank you so much for that. And if you have not yet subscribed, there is no time like the present to join the party. We have content every single day here on the Hard Count. We are live twice a week. Now, Josh Newberg is the host for the Inside Scoop, our recruiting-centric show for On3. Make sure you're locked in because Josh is going to, I would imagine, dive more deeply into this. We're just doing a broad strokes, kind of fly over here. But Josh is going to make sure he brings the heat for you as well on this topic. Who knows? Maybe he and I will talk about this on the Hard Count. Now, what's the impact if you land a one Dylan Raiola? What does that mean for your program? It's a program changer. And to have a quarterback like this, again, the number one quarterback in his class, to decide on coming to Lincoln, that is a signal fire to the rest of the recruiting landscape that Nebraska's doing something. And think about it this way, too. For Matt Rhule, if he lands an elite 2024 class at the time of us being recording this right now, they are the number 26 class in 2024. You land the top quarterback, I imagine, 1, you shoot up the rankings. 2, I imagine you attract a ton of other talent to come play with Dylan Raiola. Receivers are saying, I got a quarterback to go throw me the ball. I want to go to Nebraska. Running backs saying, well, we have a good pass game. We can offset that with the run game and be able to do some good things there, get back to Nebraska being dominant. Like, the whole thing sort of starts to snowball. This could be the piece that causes Nebraska football to begin to avalanche. The 2024 class could turn everything around for this program under Matt Rhule. So it's exciting to say the least. Now, Steven Sipple over at Husker Online, our Nebraska On 3 site, make sure you get a membership. They're going to keep you up to know. They got a lot of notes on this sighting at Nebraska. Steven Sipple said on their live show at Husker Online that we're going to know pretty soon about Dylan Raiola. And that's not super surprising. Just by nature of the recruiting cycle, quarterbacks are usually the first ones off the board. Teams like to lock in their signal caller so they can then use their quarterbacks to help them recruit going forward and kind of have the centerpiece for their class going forward. So we think we're going to know here pretty soon on Dylan Raiola. Again, the Georgia visit, it sounds like is still going to happen in the month of March. We'll see what happens. We're going to keep an eye on it. But again, this recruit for Nebraska, Dylan Raiola, could change the entire outlook for Nebraska going forward. So there's a reason why that crowd was electric when he was at the basketball game. There's a reason why we're talking about this so much on this channel. It's a program changer. 6'3", 225, according to Charles Power, Director of Scouting and Rankings here at On3, a really advanced arm talent, can drive the ball at all three levels, can make off-platform throws. Like, he is a special talent. And if you get the quarterback piece right in college football, you're set up for success. Okay, that is half the battle if you have an elite piece at quarterback. Look at the teams that were in the college football playoff this year. Stetson Bennett, Heisman finalist. J.J. McCarthy, one of the young, bright stars in our game. Max Duggan, Heisman finalist. You see what I'm saying here? We're just going down the line. The teams that play for elite things in January and December. C.J. Stroud, Heisman finalist. These players, these quarterbacks are the ones that set the tone for your program. So you land Dylan Raiola, you get a tone setter for the rest of your class going forward. Like I said, I keep saying it, a program changer for Nebraska. So we're going to watch this like a hawk. Again, the Inside Scoop is our recruiting-centric show hosted by Josh Newberg on this very channel. Make sure you're locked in. Tons of content coming your way. The games have stopped, I promise you. Us here on the Hard Count, us here at On3, we do not stop talking about college football. Make sure you're locked in. This has been the Hard Count. Nick Brake, lifting heavy. This is your show. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at JD Pikel to stay up with every single thing we're doing here. Have a good back and forth there. But we're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of the Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.